Oof. There it is. I'm tripping because I could have sworn that I had that already plugged up. Get that guy charged. Let's put that guy there. Get a few more minutes and then I'm gonna probably go ahead and shut it down. Do I even got this thing in here right? Yeah. Where you at? Where you at? There it is. What's going on? What's going on? Welcome in. I've been trucking, man, since about 2017. So about 7 years. About 7 years. Oh yeah, Chris, you'll be around the way? That's what's up, man. I appreciate you dropping in, brother. Always appreciate you dropping in. You coming down for work or you coming down for pleasure? School shooter swag. Nah, bro, that's just the work uniform, man. It's just the work uniform. Ah, okay, copy that. What is the best thing about trucking? I guess that's going to depend on who you ask, but for me, the best thing about trucking is freedom and being able to go where you want to go when you want to go. Now, typically, you only can do that if you're an operator or if you own your equipment or you're working for yourself. But just the freedom of going and being able to go and travel, I think is always going to be the best part of trucking. And I think a close number two for me is actually helping people. When you know you bring loads to actually help people. Like I did a load the other day for a food bank. It was delivering some food to a food bank that really needed that food. So I think those two are the top for me. Appreciate that. Appreciate that, Ortiz. All right, appreciate you. No, it's not an AR jacket. Actually, it's just a thin vest. Got some pockets on it. I carry a lot of stuff, man. You know, if you look at any of my other videos, you see I'm fatigued out. Because I like stuff with pockets, you know. I can carry a lot of like tools, my flashlights, you know, stuff for cutting seals and things like that. So I need workable gear. I need gear I can use. Appreciate you, man. Aaron the Bear, I appreciate you. I appreciate that. So you wanted to be a truck driver when you was a kid? You know, I think a lot of people wanted to be truck drivers when they was kids, man. You know, I don't know. It's just something about it that I think it's the truck, period. You know, something about that truck. Something about that truck. I'm trying to keep up with y'all. Bear with me. Russia in the house. What's going down? Appreciate you dropping by. Did he really say I look like Captain America? The new Captain America? That's a first. You know, I like the cab behind the engine. I like the cabinet behind the engine. To that person that asked about that cab, the Europe style trucks are a little different, but they do have their perks, if you will. I think the European guys definitely have a better design layout, but I like that engine to sit a little bit further, makes for a quieter cab and a little bit of a smoother ride. And anytime you put that engine a little bit further, you stretch that wheelbase out, you have a little bit more control over that truck. That's just like a truck with a long wheelbase. The longer that wheelbase, the smoother that truck gonna ride. Hey man, that's a big statement, Doc. You know, trucking since the '80s and loved every day of it. That's dedication. Anytime, Aaron the Bear, you working for a company, I'm gonna tell you something. It's hard anyway because you're always gonna be subject to that company's guidelines. Anytime you're working for a company, is it always bad? No, but you better have some thick skin and better have some wits about yourself and know how you're gonna make it work. That's for sure. Because these companies, they will run you like you just somebody's child. What kind of delivery do? I do a little bit of everything. I haul all kinds of stuff, from freight, dry, to carnival equipment. You name it, I'll pull it. Tankers, all of it. Somebody said, am I scared to drive alone at night? Absolutely not. Actually, I prefer to drive at night. It's less traffic, less headache. And to be honest, people should be scared to drive when, be scared of me at night, because I don't play no games, especially when it comes to my protection and just, making sure I'm safe. So no, I don't have no problem with driving at night. Let me get back. Somebody was saying, what was my... All right, somebody was asking a question. I'm trying to find where it was. Scrolling through. I'm looking, trying to keep up with you guys. There it is. What is your opinion about electrifying the trucking industry? When it comes to electrifying trucks, I still think it's a long way to go. I'm okay with electric vehicles. I just think that some things are just not going to be sustainable. They already have, short range electric trucks out that are good for like local stuff. If you're doing, neighborhood stores, that's fine. But when you get in the long haul, that's a whole different animal. And I think that that's just going to take some time to perfect. But what I do think is going to be interesting is when you start trying to get into self-driving trucks, because that's a whole different animal in itself. I mean, what you're going to do when it starts snowing? I mean, who's going to get outside and put them chains on? Things like that. So yeah, the comfortability of being able to go down the road and the truck kind of can take that stop and go off of you. That's one thing. But when you start getting deep into trying to eliminate the driver completely, that's where my issue comes in with the electric trucks. But the trucks themselves, I don't have an issue with an electric truck. I mean, hell, probably save a lot of us some fuel money for sure. Let's see what else we got going on there. No, I don't move. I won't move illegal stuff. Hood Chef in the building. Hey man, I was actually gonna call you, man, here in a little bit. Up here, chilling up here at Jack's too, bro. Definitely gotta holler at you, man. We got some catching up to do. Got a couple podcast ideas I need to run past you, etc., etc. But I'm good, man. What's good with you? What's good with you out there, homie? Holler at your boy. Hood Chef in the building, trucking with Hood Chef TV. If you don't know, now you know. No problems, man. I appreciate that, Aaron the Bear. Hey, man, you know my name Aaron too, right? Yeah, man. I think driverless trucks gonna be that's a long way. There's a lot of hurdles to overcome. I mean, you got again, you know, nighttime driving. They haven't even perfected the radar that well. Wintertime, chaining up is going to always be a problem. And this is why, when you get to where you're going, who's going to back that truck up? They those computers can't back that truck up. They haven't figured that part out yet. And believe it or not, truck drivers, we get paid to back a truck up, not so much as drive the truck. In my opinion, we get paid to back it up, and it's just too much that's going to have to happen to overcome that. Ashley, how's the rates? Well, you know, rates have actually been steady, up and down, but steady. And what I mean by that, as far as staying within a certain bracket that I've been seeing, if when we're talking about the spot market here. Now, I did a video on this not too long ago, and I was talking about reefer and flatbed rates have been consistent for the last several years, believe it or not. Especially reefer rates, they can't play around with the food. So reefer rates they've made one down a little bit, but the reefer rates down is a lot different from dry van rates down. So when reefer rates say that they're down, that's because those guys are normally in the high $3 mile. So where dry van has been in the mid twos to low dollar 80s for a while, and then after the pandemic, it was kind of like dollar 20, 30, like super horrible rates. But as of the last several months, they have been definitely consistent, especially over in the Midwest areas. I've been seeing a lot of good rates in the Midwest areas, and the southeastern areas have been good on the dry van rates. So hope that answers that question, but rates have been steady. I think they're going to eventually continue to go up. That's what I'm seeing so far. So I think the rates are going to go up. And I think when they do go up, the people that are still in the game are going to be the people that really take off, because by then, I think all of the weaker carriers are going to be, out of the game. And then we'll start seeing trucking come around again. Did you hear something about Season Transportation? Have never heard of it. Didn't hear anything about that. What is your least favorite lane? My least favorite lane is probably going to be some of the West Eastern, like Virginia, West Virginia. I hate going out in West Virginia, and I don't like going up into like the northeastern parts of PA, way up there, the New York side, North Jersey side, way up there. I hate it, and I generally don't run up there. If I'm gonna move my truck up there, it's definitely going to be for some revenue. So I generally run, south, west, and I keep it in that area, the southwest, southeastern region. No, I mean, that northeast coast, man, it's like, to be honest, you're either going to be fighting, just driving, fighting the infrastructure, or you're going to be fighting with tolls. I mean, going over the George Washington Bridge in New York now is what, $180? It's crazy. Like, but before you get there, by the time you come through Delaware and Maryland, you're already a few $100s in toll. So there's a lot of that toll stuff going on in that northeastern side. And man, look, I avoid it at all costs. I stay away from it. I don't even put myself in it, because if you look at a load and that load is paying, $1,500, $2,000, you right off the bat talking about you're going to lose every bit of $300 plus just in the toll, right? And that's just going in. What about coming out? It's a lot of times, I think a lot of guys get capped up by them rates, and they be like, oh man, it's a $2,000 load, or it's a $1,500 load, and it's only going, so many miles. But they don't realize that toll, you a few $100 right there, easy, one way. So unless it's 25 or better, and I'm talking short miles, I'm not messing with it. I'm just not going to do it, because I need to have at least $500 for tolls. That's just how I see it. Yeah, and it's definitely rough, bro. It's definitely rough, but the thing is, I think part of it is rough because you got a lot of inexperienced guys out here running, and they're taking a lot of freight for peanuts. They're doing it so it keeps the market at a crush, and I think as long as that keeps happening, it's going to keep happening. But we got to say as drivers that we're not doing it. And the minute that we don't do it, they start sweating. So no, nobody ever makes me use anything when it comes to tracking. Now they ask, but nobody makes me, do anything when it comes to tracking. But I'm gonna tell you, I do prefer the trucker tools when I do got to track. I don't mind the trucker tools. It's a toss up between excuse me. It's a toss up between Macro Point and trucker tools. Yeah, I think, and I don't know, man, I might even like macro point a little bit better. This thing about macro point, sometimes it's hit or miss. Like, I don't know. Sometimes I'll get it to work, sometimes I don't, and then I got to fight with it. And when if I got to fight too much, I'll tell the broker real quick, look, this ain't working. I ain't doing it. So we got to figure out another way. How y'all want to do it? And usually they'll get it right. Sometimes I just put the pressure back on them. You want to track your load. You know what I'm saying? You want to track it, so let's put it on you. You ain't gonna put it on me. And then generally they will fix the problem for sure. But for the most part, trucker tools is usually no problems at all. Samsara is very good. I have Samsara as my ELD. I never used it for tracking, so that's new to me. I didn't even know they had a tracking Samsara, but I have the Samsara ELD. I do, and I like it. I mean, it's like for the actual carriers and tracking and just uh, uh, as a carrier platform, Samsara is way, way, way better. I mean, I can see everything, my IFTA, my mileage, all my quarters of where I ran, see where the truck is. Everything is good. So they have Samsara as a actual standalone tracking, because I've never seen that. Ah, I'm gonna have to look that up. Nobody ain't never brought it to my attention though. Nobody, like, none of the brokers have ever said, hey, can you download Samsara? So that's interesting. That's interesting. And I'd imagine that it is probably better because, like I said, I like their carrier platform is great. Mm, that's cool. That's cool. You know, a lot of guys have problem with the brokers tracking and all that. I don't mind. The less you got to call me, the better it is for me. You know what I'm saying? I ain't trying to deal with that. I don't want to hear nobody constantly calling me. I'd rather you go ahead and track me real time so you ain't got to ask me a million questions. But some people, they get all bent out of shape about the brokers tracking them. So, you know, but I don't have a problem with it. At the end of the day, it's business, and I get it. Just don't be blowing me up and tracking me. That's when I got a problem. Because some of these guys will want to track you and then they want to call you when they see what you're doing. I'm like, you get to pick one or the other. You don't get to do both. Yeah, they might not like it, but I mean, if it ain't in my control, I want my detention pay. I want my money. You know what I'm talking about? And a lot of times it be on their shipper or receiver. You know what I'm saying? And that's real, man. It is life. And if the shipper delays me, that's your customer. Be mad with them about it. If I'm still sitting there, obviously I'm sitting there for a reason. It ain't because I want to be sitting there burning up my my time. They act like you be sitting there wanting to burn up your time. Because even with the detention pay, you got to fight to get that. So I'd rather be on time than having to hunt you down. And then 9 times out of 10, a lot of times they don't even pay you right away on the detention. It usually comes later anyway. So, but I mean, the reality of it is, if they want to trip, they need to get on these shippers and these receivers, make them get us out of there faster. Otherwise, have that bread right. If you ain't got that money right, then that's your problem at the end of the day. You know what I mean? Because if I did a job and I'm where I'm supposed to be when I'm supposed to be there, my money need to be where it need to be when I'm there, period. You know? Yeah, they do got 30 days for most to pay, but that's a joke, you know. And I'm surprised that our government even allows that. I can't walk into a restaurant and be like, order my food and be like, okay, I'm gonna have y'all paid in about 15 to 30 days. We go to jail for that. And I think that's crazy that a guy has to come out of his pocket, put fuel in his vehicle, do a job for you that's hundreds of miles, and got to hope that there's no BS. And if the shipper puts something on your truck that's not there, then they got to do an investigation before they pay you after you already done did the job. Come on, man. It's real crazy. Like, nah. Oh, I've dealt with double brokers before. Normally, I'm able to get out of it and catch it before it becomes a headache. But I have dealt with people doing double brokering before, and that's a whole nother issue in itself. You know, they call that blind loads. You know, you know what? All of this is tricks, man. All of this is a whole bunch of, you know, it's a racket, man. You know, I mean, I hate to say it, but trucking in general ain't nothing but a racket. It's, what are you going to do? You know, it's a gamble. It's a great career that you can make a decent living in, but you got to have either have your equipment paid for, have all your, what do you call it, man? You got to have all of your finances in order, have everything together to make it worthwhile. But there was a time where, you know, we didn't have to go through as much as we have to go through in trucking now, you know. Horrors in the dollar, huh? I know that's right, man. I mean, you know, but what do you do? It's like I be having my bittersweet moments, and sometimes, many times, I was like, you know what? I'm done. I'm gonna park this thing and I'm out of it. Like, I've came so close many a times, but one thing I've learned and I understand is I don't want to do nothing else, and I enjoy what I do. And where am I going to go? Where else am I really going to go and make the money that I make? A lot of people ain't going to pay me with what I'm worth, and at least what I feel I'm worth. You go to a company, you definitely know you're not going to get paid what you're worth. And one thing for certain, two things for sure, I know what I'm capable of doing. I know what I'm capable of making. So it's kind of like hard for me, you know, to even fathom going to work for a company. Yeah, I like that statement, man. Sweet ain't as sweet without the bitter. You're right, man. That's a true statement right there. You know, and I'll tell you something, man. One time I was thinking about contemplating leaving and getting out, and I added up my expensive and just things that I have and my lifestyle, and I said, I realized it was kind of scary. I realized I could not even afford to go work for somebody. Now think about that, man. I could not even afford to go work for somebody. And I was like, nah, I got to do this. This got to work, you know. And then when I got my head back on straight and just was like out of my bag, I realized there's no way in the world I want to do anything else, man. And I'm doing exactly what I want to do, and I'm doing it my way. My name's on the truck. My name's on all the paperwork, you know. And it's kind of like I don't want to do it no other way. And when you're able to do that and do it the way you want to do it and do it successfully, we ain't really got nothing to complain about. We ain't really got nothing to complain about. You know what I'm saying? It's like it ain't never that bad when you really think about it. Because a lot of guys didn't even make it. They didn't even make it past COVID. You know, after COVID hit, a lot of people fell off, and I said, you know what? There's no way. It's not that bad that I'm feeling. And sometimes our problem is we be spoiled. We be spoiled in our ways, and we want what we want, and we think it's so bad, but it really isn't. Yeah, absolutely. You absolutely right. You own your own destiny, man. Um, And I think that's why when you become an owner operator, or you become, your own authority or whatever it is, most people become owner operators to have control over their time and freedom. I don't want to just be um, financially good. I want to have financial autonomy, which means I'm not depending on anybody for my income, and I want to have financial freedom. People understand that financial freedom is not that you just got all this money. Financial freedom is definitely a difference, because financial freedom is only meaning that nobody else has any interest in the assets that you have. I don't just want that. I have that, but I need the autonomy, because when you have the autonomy, financial autonomy just means that you're nobody else. You're not dependent on nobody else per se to earn your income. And when you are the business, the only people that you're dependent on is your customers. Who are our customers? As truck drivers, our brokers, our direct customers. I'd rather control that, cut the middleman out, and have that full autonomy and financial freedom. I appreciate that, man. Appreciate you subscribing. And yeah, I appreciate it, man. I keep it 100, and that's why when I put out videos that I want that people want to see and that people want to hear. And I speak the truth about things that I deal with. You know, I don't want to put out content just for the sake of putting out content. And that's why my videos are starting to be so much spread out, because I want people to really be educated. You know what I'm saying? And it's kind of like sometimes we just, people are putting the glitz out there and they're not really seeing what's really going on behind the scenes of trucking. And they think, oh, you come in, you make all this money, you just own it, you get your own truck, and the sky opens up, and it's way more than that. It's way more than that. And then people get out here and they go after that. I call it chasing the dollar that's not even there. Really, what you're chasing is that carrot that's dangling over your head. But I can do a whole nother video on that. Let's see what we got. The city of Houston, land use boundary map, going to Texas. Check that out when you get a chance. What is that about? Yeah, man, it's definitely way more to trucking than just, chasing the dollar. And that's why I say when you get into this, you got to come into it right. If you build that foundation and make it real strong from the get up and get a head space on about where it is you want to be in this, you'll go a long way, and you will make it. But if you come in, that's what they did during COVID. Everybody's like, oh man, there's COVID money everywhere. They're giving away money, and they were. And everybody went out and also started jumping into these high trucks, because guess what? They knew people were going to flood the market. And what do? You started seeing trailers that were 2006s going for like 25 and 30,000. A new trailer was like $70,000, $80,000. 2014 trailers, $40,000. A 2010 truck, $100,000. Like, it was crazy. And people were buying these trucks left and right because they thought that money was going to be there forever. And guess what? They were closing up by the wayside, and I mean, so many people went out of business as soon as that money stopped flowing, because they came in chasing the dollar with no foundation. And that right there is always going to be a recipe for disaster. Let's see what we got under here. Man, I hope he does something. I hope somebody does something. I really don't care who it is they get in there, as long as they do something for the business owners. And with him being a businessman, I think that's kind of the route to go. All right, Roy, I will check that out. I will definitely check that out. Sounds kind of interesting. Yeah, man, that fast money is always gone, and so is everything else that comes with it. I knew from the door that I invested too much. So when I came into the game, I said, no, I gotta come in here with, I gotta come in here with some, I gotta come in here with some good backing, and I knew I wasn't going to come in here with truck payments and equipment payments. My trailers are paid for, my trucks are paid for, and I didn't want to have that hanging over my head. So when I was making good money, I knew how to manage that money and what not to invest in. And the first thing I wanted to invest in is me and my equipment. So we've got this mindset that let's make our money make us money and invest in all this stuff. That's always good, and that's always going to be risky. But the first person I think needs to be invested in is me, and it's easy to do that, because if I just say this is the number that I want for me to have put away, then that is essentially in itself an investment in myself. We all know if you got the bread, you can always make more money, but again, that's a whole nother video for another time. What's going on, bro? What's going on? I see you out there in the building, Mr. CDL Journey. Hey, man, a Bear, I tell you what, your buddy was smart. And it's funny you say that. So I bought some land in Colorado about 2 years ago. I was rolling through, and it was real beautiful in the area I was at. And I said, man, I could just have me a piece of land out here, come out here in the middle of nowhere and just be happy. And I'll tell you what, man, I ended up finding a piece of property up there and way out there in Alamosa, up by Alamosa County, up there in the San Luis Valley Ranches. And I bought it, and I said, you know what, I'll figure out what I want to do with it later, but I own it now, and that's what you got to do. It's like you again, back to that investing in yourself. That's kind of what you got to do. You got to really put the boots down somewhere. And I do agree that we definitely need to support the people with the boots on the ground. I mean, but we don't, and it's kind of ass backwards, but that's just, I think, how our society is, man, and which keeps pushing me to invest in myself. I don't even want to spend my money if it's not going to even make me any money, and I mean quickly. Yeah, there are those long-term investments like property, but just out in general, I'd rather go buy 5 cars and flip them and double my money just that much quicker than to be risking my money in risky investments. Because there's so many ways now in today's society to make money that we're kind of doing it backwards. Think about it. We got 8 and 9, 10, 12-year-old YouTube millionaires. You know what I'm saying? So we don't have to be doing it traditionally anymore. Finance, business, a headache, learning, not knowing that the IRS is mandatory, and learning, etc., about who's optional, about our household, no BS economy, non-economy, dealing with economics, etc. Yeah, Roy, finances and all that can be a headache sometimes, but it's a headache worth having. And people have a headache from it because they don't take the time to learn it. And that's what we're talking about. If you don't invest in yourself, because that's a part of investing in yourself. Education is a part of investing in yourself. That's the point about these guys that got in the truck and that couldn't hang. They got into it, didn't even know nothing about it. How many drivers that's out here driving ain't got no business behind the wheel of a truck? Don't even know nothing about it. And that's the problem. And that's when it becomes a headache, when you don't educate yourself. Yeah, I'm all for the steady, safe, steady, slow grind. I mean, I've learned that getting anywhere I want to get in life or in my career, I want to get there real slow. I want to get there slow because I'll absorb more along the way. And by the time I get to the end, when things do start to happen, I'll be well groomed and prepared for it, because 9 times out of 10, I have encountered a lot of different scenarios about it. But yeah, man, I'm definitely I'm not in a rush for anything. That's the problem. We live in a society that's a noun, want it now. You know, they want it now. They want everything. We want everything to happen now. And I get it, but that's not sustainability, you know. Yeah, I can't even add to that, man. That weak sauce, man. Microwave fools. That's what they used to say in the old timers. That's exactly what they say. We were microwave fools. But it is, man. It is. I mean, that's why I spend a lot of time on educating on this channel. If you go through some of my videos, a lot of my videos, I'm teaching people how to even work on their trucks. A lot of guys don't even want to take the time to learn how to change a belt. They'd rather spend $500 on a road call than to have an extra belt in the truck and learn how to put that belt on, you know, or an alternator or stuff that is really, really simple. Because a lot of the simple stuff we pay for in maintenance, that we could do ourselves. And you don't have to be no master mechanic such as myself to work on your equipment. And this is why I share a lot of the stuff that I do. You know, I took the money and invested in the computer software, the computers to plug into my trucks and be able to troubleshoot and diagnose them. Because even though it may have cost me a couple $1,000s, you know how much money I've saved. You know, just, you know, guys that can't even do a regen, they got to take their truck into a dealership to get a regen done. So they plug it in, hit a button on the computer, put the truck in the regen, and then they're paying crazy money for that. So why not me put that same money, invest in the equipment, and have it on hand? I've done a lot of regens and diagnosis for a lot of guys that I've known, and they were happy to pay me a fraction of the cost to do that. And I always tell them, man, you could buy this and do it yourself. Even if you use it one time, it pays for itself one time if you never use it again. Investing in ourselves, investing in ourselves, investing in ourselves. Yeah, absolutely. On average, they definitely are paying way over, you know, for simple stuff, you know, and nobody don't want to take the time out to do the simple things. I mean, I know guys that can't even put a light bulb in their truck. They'd rather pay somebody $100 for that. I've seen it. I'm sure some of you guys have probably seen it. And yeah, keeping belts on the truck on handy. I mean, even your filters, man. You know, your even all your filters, from your receiver dryer filters to your water separator filters. Why are we paying crazy money to have people do those? I think I pay about $60 from the dealer for my water separator filters. I usually keep a couple of those handy. I went to a TA. They charged me like $250 to change my water separator filter. I had to pay it because I didn't have the filter on me at that time, and I was in a bad situation and I needed it. But $250, and I knew the filter was only like $60. But people won't take the time to do it because, you know, they just feel like, I don't know. I mean, if you got the money to throw away, cool, no problem. Let me catch back up on some of these. It's easy. It easily costs $126 to delete One code on yeah, man, you ain't never lied. Like I said, they knocked me over the head one time because I was kind of in a pickle and I didn't have a choice. I had left my equipment home. Man, I never made that mistake leaving my equipment home. I tell you that. The tool is smart to get. Oh, absolutely. I did a video. If y'all scroll through the videos, I had just did a video not too long ago, a few months ago. I had to put a radiator in my truck. Did it at TA. Went out, bought all the tools. I bought a hoist, everything, and literally did it because even the money I spent in the tools saved me thousands of dollars. You hear me? So I think I might have had maybe a couple $100 in tools. The radiator didn't cost me anything because the radiator was under warranty. So the company I bought the radiator from was nice enough to have one brought to me at TA. And looky here, I went and got me one of those old school chain hoists from Harbor Freight, climbed on the top of my trailer, hooked it up there, and looky here. Check that video out. But it's definitely worth the tools. Even if you got to spend the money on the tools, you're still ahead of the game. And maintenance is definitely half the battle. $130 to change a marker light on a trailer. And think about that. You got guys that will pay that and not think about it, right? And then be the same guys complaining about they had a bad week. Go figure. You see what I'm saying? $120, man. That's lunch at least for a week and a half. If you do $20 a day. I mean, I don't spend that on lunch every day, but so many other things that money could go to. So many other things. I mean, hell, you could fill your DEF tank up about 2.5 times with that. I'm just saying, though. I'm just saying. Well, Anthony, about that delete question and inspections, I can't answer that because it depends on where you run it. If you're like going to California and you're in California and all that, hell to the no, it will not. But I'm going to say up here on the East Coast, yeah, you should pass because they're not per se checking like you think they're checking. They're not, for them to really know it's deleted, they got to really pull some stuff apart. Unless whoever did that delete does not know what they're doing and it's very obvious the truck is deleted. But generally, it's not something that's that obvious because most of the components are still there. But that's a whole nother video, man. Hey, Harlem, I appreciate that, man. I know, let me get some light going on in here. I'm losing my light, man. It's getting dark on me. But I appreciate that, man. I think I can kindly say now, and I've been on here over probably 5 years, giving out game all the way back to when I was with Landstar, when I first started with Landstar. I actually got videos when I was all the way back when I was with Warner. It's been a long time. But I can kind of say, I think I can say that I'm one of the, the veterans, the social media veterans in trucking that can, give back and say, hey, try and point people in the direction. I'll never try and tell people what to do, but I can definitely tell people what I went through and what I see and what I know from being not even just the business, but being a business owner. This is probably like the umpteenth business I've owned. I've owned several businesses, and I think I've been around long enough that I can say, okay, we OG in the game now, and we we need to continue to iron shoppers iron, as they say. We need to continue to support each other, and that's one thing we don't do either. I've gotten a lot of knowledge from a lot of guys off of YouTube, not even just in trucking, just in things in my personal that I was trying to learn how to do. And it's only right that we give back, but a lot of us don't want want to help each other, man. We don't want to, you know, put the effort into investing in our brothers, because I'm gonna tell you, two of us can make more money together than one of us. You know, I've got guys that are owner operators that have came and worked for me, and we made money together. And I've had it where those guys have made money and I didn't even make any money. You know why? Because if you come to help me and I'm going to put you on, I'm gonna make sure you get paid before I get paid, because at the end of the day, you're gonna respect me and you're gonna run that much harder for me. You're gonna want to bring me up. That should be the way that it should be. I should want to get you up. You should want to get me up. But instead, we're stealing from each other. We're stealing from the drivers. We're doing all these crazy things, and they're wondering why some of these companies are going out of business. You know why? Because you're screwing the people that's making you the money, you know. And I've been around long enough to know what it takes. It's just like a regular job. Your people is your investment, you know. And I've learned so much from some of you guys out there that chimed in and say, hey, when I first started out with my authority, so many guys stepped up and was like, hey, Q, do this, man. You ain't got to do that. You can do it this way. Or you ain't got to, you know, go this route. You can go that route. And I'm foreverly grateful. And I'm talking about big hitters, you know, guys I got on speed dial, like, you know, my boy Ghost. A lot of people hated on Ghost. Ghost went through some crazy things, but I'm going to tell you, he was a smart brother and he helped me out a lot. My boy Cooley, call me Cooley, was another one that helped me out early in my career, you know. And that's what it's about, man. It's just what it's about. It should be a no-brainer. But I don't want to rag on too much about that, but we need to be out here helping each other. So I appreciate all that, man. Oh, definitely, man. All that stuff that you buy for yourself and your stuff you do is definitely tax write-off. We need them. We need them tax write-offs. I'm looking at some, trying to catch up with some of these questions, guys. Is that perks of paying, but if you can avoid it, I would. Texas steel forever. I don't even got my glasses, man. This stuff getting kind of small on me now in the dark. But it's like a 34 going. I'm just trying to catch up with y'all comments, man. The business of people will never go out of business. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. What up? What up, ho? What's the DDF software cost you? I've had it for a while. I've upgraded it. I think when I first got it, man, it was like $160 or something like that, $170. Yeah, it wasn't expensive at all when I initially got it. I see we're about an hour in, so I'm gonna be wrapping this up here soon, man. It's always good talking with you guys. Look on my tablet over here and see what we got. Oh, no doubt, Bear. Ain't no doubt, man. No doubt. I appreciate you too, man. No, I don't use I'm not using that that particular next interface. I use the DG Electronics interface is what I use. And I like theirs because it'll talk to any software you buy with any truck. So as long as you got the software, DG Electronics, it works great. It's about $800. I think you can find them now, maybe about 600. Last I checked, like 650. But I've been using that for years, and it just works. And I'm an old timer, man. I just like stuff that works. I don't want to constantly upgrade. It ain't got to be Bluetooth and all that. And actually, I'd rather have a direct link to my computer to the truck, and it's just faster and it's right on. But that DG electronics, you can find it on, I think, on Amazon. But I think when I bought it, it was like $700. Hey, peace to you, my brother. I'll be talking with you on the next one, and stay in tune and keep supporting. Be safe out there. I'm about to get on the road with a box truck. We'll try and run with new MC on my own. Thanks to it's too good. I'm starting the business. Okay, gotcha. I'm starting the business debt free, but still, do you think I'm walking into failure? Well, first, understand box trucks is its own animal, period. I'm not going to say I think you're walking into failure, because I did a video on this before, and people were saying that when is a good time to get into trucking, or when is a good time to, is this a good time to start a business? I don't believe there's ever a good time to start or not start a business. I believe if something's for you, it's going to be for you. What you put into it is going to be what you put into it. I don't feel like the economy dictates my success, because number one, you said it earlier. You said, thanks to God. I believe in God. I believe in the higher power. I believe that he said, if he before me, who can be against me? So I don't accept what people say as, the gospel, if you will. So for me, I'm going to say, no, I don't think you're walking in failure. You're doing what's in your heart. You're doing what you feel to do, what you feel like you want to do. The key to this is making sure that you are educating yourself about box truck business every step of the way. Putting that money away. If you came into it debt free, that tells me that you must already have some inclination about being good and smart about your money. Continue to do what it is that you were doing to keep you debt free and coming into it debt free. Keep doing that, along with educating yourself about what markets that you need to be in for box trucks. Box trucks has a lot of different markets now, and I see a lot of box truck freight on the load boards and things like that. So as long as you can continue to position yourself in the right areas, you can do box work with no problem. Hence Amazon always have great box work. I'm not a fan of with the box trucks, you got to unload it with Amazon, but that comes with the territory of what you are doing. And a lot of places that have box freight, that comes with that, Now, yeah, there are some that mostly unloaded, but those are things that you got to expect. And if you go into it with that mindset, I think you'll be fine, man. I don't think you're walking into failure at all. First off, you're coming into it controlling your destiny. With that truck, you can always make money, and not to mention, it don't just stop at low board freight. You can do your local area freight. You can just do moving and hauling, period. There's so many ways you can vibe with that. For me, I went into opening my own authority, and my plan is to eventually grab me a couple box trucks and add on. I did it this way because it was easier for me to put box trucks or whatever I want under a Class A carrier. So since I'm a Class A carrier, all I had to do is just slap the box trucks letters on it and call it a day. You see, now same kind of applies. If you wanted to add a semi truck, all you really had to do is there's a few little things you need to tweak, and you can hire an owner operator to run under you. There's so many ways you can flip that and make that work. So good luck. I think that you'll be fine, man. You know, and keep in touch. Check back. Let me know. Stay in, you know, in touch, and subscribe so that I'll be curious to know how you're making out. Where you working out of? Man, I am getting hungry. Good thing I got some food. Where's my drink at? I had a straw somewhere. Where did I put it? We'll come back to that. Oh, no problem, man. No problem. No problem. That's what we're here for. Sharpen each other up. Hello? Hold on. Hello?
Hi, honey.
Hey, babe, what's going on?
I called you, but you didn't text me back.
Yeah, I was actually in the middle of a live. I was shooting a live. Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay.
It's all good.
It might be your service.
No,
Okay,
it's good. It's good. I'm wrapping it up now. I'm literally wrapping it up.
Okay, well, just call me when you're done, okay?
All right.
Okay.
Bye. Old lady call, I ain't answer because I was in the middle of this live. She start calling the other devices. Wait a minute now. Hey, so you guys be blessed. I'm gonna jump off of here, and we will get back to it on the next one. All about semis, and I'm out of here.